with Snoozing with Brad.
So, yesterday we said goodbye to Black History Month, and we turned right into Women's History Month.
Another great month.
Another great month, right? So March is National. And by the way, before we even get into National Women's Month, if anybody notices here, okay, I forgot to say, I have the top 181 stories of the day here, all condensed for your entertainment.
Right.
So today starts the second day of National Women's History Month.
Yes.
It began on 1975.
Mm-hmm.
It was officially recognized by the United Nations. International Women's Day is March 8th. And it's observed, I believe, mostly around the world, but I don't really see it just recently in the United States. Has it really starting to pick up International Women's Day on March 8th. But I remember 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, if you said what day is International Women's Day, nobody would know here in the United States.
Yeah.
But outside of the United States, it is celebrated. According to the National Women's History Museum, one of the most notable celebrations was organized in Santa Rosa, California by the Education Task Force of the Sonoma County Commission on the Status of Women in 1978. So there goes my theory that it is not celebrated in the United States, but in 1978...
You haven't been celebrating,
I have not been celebrating it, apparently. So, according to the National Women's History Alliance, states began declaring the whole month of March as Women's History Month all the way up until 1986, when a more national push finally made its headway. Early in the 20th century, two significant women's suffrage events took place in March, which is why they do it in March. The first National Suffragist Parade took over Washington, D.C. on March 3rd, 1913. Do you know what suffragist?
No,
What is that?
I was just going to ask.
Women, suffragist. Maybe suffragist. Suffrage. That is women's right to vote. Yes. And the National Women's Party, a political group dedicated to women's suffrage, was officially formed also in March 1917.
Nice.
I never knew why it was in March, but now I know.
Now you know.
Yeah, and what I want to have the Brad Squad do, if you guys are actually listening, is give us one of your favorite women in history and say why. You never know, you might make a comment of the day. So I'll give mine.
Who's your favorite?
One of my favorites is just because I grew up learning about her, and then I was taught one side of the story when I found out the real side of the story was Rosa Parks. And Rosa Parks, you know, she's known for not getting up on the bus. She was in the front of the bus where the white people were supposed to sit, the black people were supposed to sit in the back of the bus. And everybody was like, oh, she was tired because she just got off of work. But in real...
She planned it.
She planned it.
She had it planned.
She was tired. If she was tired of anything, she was tired of your bull. You know?
That's right.
So she got arrested. A little frail, little light-skinned black lady got arrested, like literally was getting cussed out by all the white people. Police officers came to take her off, and for an older black woman to do that, I think, you know, it's amazing. I'm scared of cops at my big age, you know what I mean, as a big black man, where you're not supposed to really be scared of stuff like that.
And this is going back 150 years ago, or 50 years ago.
Yeah,
50 years ago. I don't know why I came up with that. 50 years ago, when cops treated, you think, you know, people of dark skin or brown skin are treated poorly by cops. Now, could imagine what it was. You weren't alive at the time in the South in the 1960s.
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite women in history. Do you have one?
I don't know if I could pick just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of women that have really been trailblazers for me to even be able to have all of the rights that I have today.
Good, yeah.
So I'm just grateful for all the women in history that paved the way for a young brown girl like me to have the opportunity.
How about you, Brad?
I don't know. I mean, I could think of a lot of them. Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah.
She if it wasn't for her in 1917, women wouldn't be voting.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
She's on the
silver dollar. Right, but you know what? That's just what pops in my head now.
Yeah.
You know,
the month's just getting started, boys.
If I give thought to it, I could think of lots of great women in history, not only in American history but international history as well. You know. You know, so
Yeah.
I have to
It's
give,
all
I have to
different
give more
categories.
thought. You know, it's hard to say, you know, who's your favorite
Right.
historical woman, you know,
'Cause
so many did so many great things. Meanwhile, in Washington State, 6 people have died from the coronavirus.
Oh, wow.
Just in the last 24 hours.
Woo.
Yesterday, a man in his 70s died at the Evergreen Health Medical Center in Kirkland, the same hospital where the death of the man in his 50s also occurred.
That's
But
young.
both men had underlying health problems.
I was just gonna ask.
Now, based on what I have read, okay, that this virus has been going around the Washington State area since early January. And now, only recently, people are being diagnosed with it. They didn't have a diagnostic test at the time. So people were going around saying, boy, I think I have the flu. I have a virus. I have a cold. I feel a chill for a few days and then get better. And apparently, with this coronavirus, based on the anecdotal evidence that I am reading through the news, assuming you believe the news is correct, because we don't know 100% what's fake news and what's real news.
Right.
But based on what I'm reading and seeing on the news, and based on what I'm reading from medical experts and talking to doctors, that the coronavirus, if you're a healthy person, you'll survive.
Yeah.
It's not going to kill you. Where you have to be concerned is if you are elderly, you're a baby, that means you're a parent who's taking care of a baby, or you have an underlying health problem, especially for people who have problems with their lungs and breathing. People who have heart conditions, people maybe who are going through cancer treatments, if you have an underlying health problem, it exacerbates whatever that problem is. So, so now what they're saying is that the reason why they believe that this virus has been going around Seattle and the Washington State area is because different people, and by the way, I'm looking at this picture, okay? And these are healthcare workers who are taking care of people who have the coronavirus. None of these healthcare workers are dressed properly for taking care of.
So they should have
gloves on. They should have glasses on, and they should have.
How about like the hazmat suit?
Well, not necessarily a hazmat suit, but they should have their eyes covered, their ears covered, their mouth covered, and they should be wearing gloves. And that person in that last picture didn't even have gloves on.
Right.
All right. So then you say, well, why are these healthcare workers getting sick? Because they're not even following the proper protocol. But what was being said in the news is that scientists determined that the reason why this virus has been going around Washington State is because different people who have never been in contact with each other all were coming with similar strains of the virus. The virus has all different strains. So that means it's been passed from one person to person to person. So it's kind of like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You know, you ever hear that? 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, where everybody knows Kevin Bacon because they've been in a movie with him.
Right.
So it's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, where it went through 6 people to get to a 7th person, but maybe 6 of those people didn't even know that they even had it. They said, oh, I have a cold. I don't feel well this morning.
Right.
But apparently when the ones who are being counted are the ones who are getting actually sick from the underlying virus.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the first case of the coronavirus was confirmed in New York State. Luckily, it's nobody here in this room.
The first case that they letting you know about.
Yo, I'm going to get to that in a minute. So a woman who recently traveled to Iran, it's New York's first case confirmed of the coronavirus. Now, the woman who was not named is in her late 30s. She contracted the virus while traveling abroad in Iran. She's home. She's home. She has isolated herself in her home. And I'm sure she has a very bad cold, maybe mild flu symptoms.
They let her go home with it?
Yeah. You know how many people are walking around with this thing?
Just
Tons.
But I thought like if you have it, so why do they keep you in quarantine for 14 days if they don't just let you go when you have it?
They're scaring the hell out of everybody. What I'm trying to say is this: it's a bad virus, but you will not die from it unless you have an underlying illness.
Or if you're older.
Or you're old. That is basically what we are seeing.
But that's still a lot of people. You never know.
It is a lot of people.
You know, there's a lot of old people there, and there's a lot of people there that might have an underlying illness.
Now there is
still something to be scared about.
Now, Yo-Yo, to what you were saying before, that's the one that they say.
Right? Because I already know of two.
All right. Well, there's an investigative reporter by the name of John Legum. Okay, and he claims that there's a cover-up at the Centers for Disease Control.
Didn't I say this before?
Yo-Yo says it.
I said it.
And now John Legum says it. Now I want to say,
we didn't believe you, Yo-Yo.
We have no idea whether or not this is true or not.
Yes, I do.
Yo-Yo says it's true.
I know.
I am giving a disclaimer from Bradshaw Live. I can't disparage the CDC unless I have actual proof of this. But a reporter has sounded the alarm, and he said, and what he tweeted was, the CDC has stopped disclosing the number of Americans tested for coronavirus. On the left is, and what they said is basically they removed the number of tests that had been administered. So what he tweeted was, on the left is how the website looked last night. On the right, are we looking at this? On the right is what it looks like now with the testing information removed. The lack of testing is a scandal. This is a cover-up. Now, I want you to know, not only did Jilly find this article, but Lisa Bling Rose also sent this to us. So the squad is getting involved too. Yo-Yo is all over this. There's lots of people who believe there's a cover-up going on.
I would like to say something. If this guy goes missing, I don't know anything. All right, I take back all of the stuff that I said. Look, I trust you, CDC. Go ahead, do your thing.
So now Donald Trump has repeatedly tried to tell the public, that and the sinking stock market, all is well, remain calm. Do you think this has anything to do with the fact that they're not reporting the exact numbers?
Yes.
Yes.
What are you about to say? Yes.
All one big number.
I've been said that.
Well, we have a video from Donald Trump saying that the coronavirus is a hoax. Let's watch.
This is their new hoax. We have lost nobody to coronavirus in the United States. The press is in hysteria mode.
All right. Well, six people were confirmed to have died today.
Actually, I feel a lot better now.
But
that
our
I saw
president
him say that.
says that no
I feel
one.
great now.
Well, you know, if his job was to keep everybody calm and get the stock market up, well, then he did his job today, because the stock market, the Dow Jones was up 1,100 points. The stock market believes that this is going to go away. Meanwhile, Paris has shut down the Louvre Museum.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yes, almost 3/4 of the Louvre's 9.6 million visitors last year came from other places other than France. It's the world's most popular museum. And what Andre Sacretin, a Louvre employee, said, we are very worried because we have visitors from everywhere. The risk is very, very, very great. While there are no known virus infections among the museum's 2,300 workers, it's only a question of time, he said, before it happens.
I wonder if the Olympics are going to be canceled.
They will not be canceled.
It's in Tokyo.
They will not be canceled.
Why?
Well, because
they're already talking about Coachella might be canceled.
Well, I am telling you the Olympics are going to go on. Why?
Why?
Because it's too big money. The money is too big for it to be canceled.
Would you go?
Absolutely not. Meanwhile, I don't know if you saw in the Olympics today.
Crazy people in the world
I don't know if you saw this today. There was a woman, I forgot her name. It's not in my cards, but I just happened to read it separately, who ran her first marathon ever in her life. And qualified
for the
Olympics.
Some people are just naturally
Did you see that?
No.
Yeah,
but that doesn't surprise me.
The top 3 finishers in the Olympic,
wild.
if you can Google that, the top 3 finishers in the women's Olympic trials run go to the Olympics. And this woman has never run a marathon in her life.
What is
She was a barista in a coffee shop. She was a college long-distance runner, but she was running half marathons, but she
That
never
is
ran a
wild.
full marathon. She never even expected to qualify for the Olympics.
That's her?
Because what I read, which was amazing, what I read was that on mile 8, she stopped to high-five her sister.
What?
And still came in second.
Wow.
Is that crazy? Did you
That
see
is
that?
wild.
You see that? That's quick.
I'm think this is who I found.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
So meanwhile,
Say that.
Mile 8?
yes, meanwhile, the Dominican Republic, they have also reported the first coronavirus case.
Wow.
Yes.
Vanessa.
Yep.
Why are
On-
you saying it like it's me?
Vanessa,
You know
It's
you're in
reached
trouble
my
when
people.
when
you know what?
don't
You
say-
came in coughing last week all over
Reach
us.
my people. I've not been to the Dominican Republic, unfortunately for me, since August.
Yeah, now
it wasn't me.
on Sunday, health officials in the Dominican Republic reported the first confirmed case of the coronavirus. It's a tourist-rich
Damn.
Caribbean country. Public Health Minister Rafael Sanchez Cardenas said a 62-year-old Italian man had arrived without showing symptoms.
Hell nah.
And now he is sick. Now the broader Latin American region has reported several cases. Mexico has reported 4 cases, Brazil 2, Ecuador 1, all involving people.
What do you want us to
Call
shut
it-
down Punta Cana?
Yes.
Call
It's
it-
impossible. Our country just runs on Punta Cana.
Let me tell you something. You want to shut down the Olympics? You want to shut down Punta Cana? What do you want to shut down
Well, the
next,
Louvre,
Yo-Yo?
the Louvre is on it.
shut
The
down.
Louvre is. The French
Yeah.
are always a little ahead of the game.
That is wild, man. Y'all
You
better
know-
not come to Africa with none
Wh-
of that.
which is why the stock market was collapsing for the last few days, because people are freaking out over this. I mean, the economy is going to go down the
Yeah.
tubes if everybody keeps.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I said the Olympics is going to go on.
You won't
Because
find me there.
because just even if you say the Olympics won't go on, the fact that they would cancel the Olympics would freak everybody out.
Yeah.
Right.
Meanwhile, on Sunday, a federal judge ruled that President Trump's appointee to lead the Immigration Service, the USCIS, but his name is KenCuccinelli, was illegal. And the reason why it was illegal was because the Senate never confirmed him. Trump just put him into the position. And after he was put into the position, that's when we got these changes in the affidavit of support requirements. Because Ken Cuccinelli has been a fervent, what's the word I'm looking for, boss lady? A rabid anti-immigrant, anti-minority, anti-anybody who doesn't look like a white dude like him person. So Trump was sued, and the federal court said, correct, he should never have been put in charge of the Immigration Service because the Senate has to confirm him. And as a result of that, every rule that he has put into place, including the affidavits of support, are illegal.
Oh, it's illegal, but is it still?
It's still ongoing because he says he's not leaving his post, he's appealing. And while the case is on appeal, all these rules are still in effect.
Wow.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, if someone was just appointed to a position and not confirmed, does anything that come after confirmed? Because this person wasn't confirmed, so how are?
I don't know how it works now because he says he's not leaving.
Oh.
So I don't know who's going to force the guy out of his office. Does the judge come down and rip him out of the office? Does the Justice Department, who Trump controls, going to rip? Who's ripping this guy out of his office?
Right.
He said
Not Trump.
he just said I'm not going to leave,
Yeah.
and is appealing, even though the federal court said you shouldn't be there.
Shouldn't have been here in the first place, bud.
Meanwhile, Joe Biden, he's revitalized his campaign in South Carolina.
Well.
He finally won a contest for the Democratic nomination. By the way, it's his first state he's ever won in his life because he ran for president in 1988 and he never won any state in 1988. And then when he's supposed to be the front runner this year, he lost Iowa, New Hampshire.
Well, he got one now. Brad.
He finally got one.
He got one.
And what's happening? What's happening is that the Democrat establishment, they don't want Bernie Sanders. He's too far left. He's a socialist. Some people even think he could be, borderline communist. They do not believe, more importantly, nobody who follows politics believes that Bernie Sanders will win the presidency. So the Democrats don't want to go down in flames. So what they have done is, I think behind the scenes, today, Pete Buttigieg has left the race. Amy Klobuchar has left the race, and they are all circling their wagons around Joe Biden now. So now the race for the Democratic nominee is Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren duking it out for the progressive side, and Mike Bloomberg and Joe Biden duking it out for the old man moderate Democrat side. All right. Although Bernie Sanders is an old man too.
Right.
I'm a young chicken compared to.
Yes,
all right. I've never been called a young chicken, but I'm going to call myself a young chicken compared to who's running for president on the Democratic side.
Young chicken.
What?
Makes them feel good.
What?
Somebody call you a young chicken.
Please call me a young chicken.
Little spring chicken.
Little spring chicken, right? Little active guy going around in circles like this. Not falling asleep on his couch on a Sunday.
So much energy.
So much energy, right? This guy, right? Right, I'm such a young chicken, I fall asleep on my couch at 3 o'clock on Sunday.
That chick Brad.
Yeah. Meanwhile, so what do you think? Biden, Sanders, Bloomberg, Warren.
So far, I think
Decisions.
What do you? Who would you vote for, and who do you think is going to win? Those are two different questions. And by the way, let me ask you this, because I assume you're both Democrats. You're both going to vote and exercise your right to vote. What's to you is the most important thing in a candidate? Some people say, healthcare. Some people say immigration. Some people say the economy. Some people say civil rights. Some people say reproductive rights, women's rights. Other people say whoever the hell is going to beat Trump is better than Trump. What to you is the most important? Because what's important to you is going to determine who you vote for out of those four people.
Yeah.
What's most important to you?
See, for me, I really have to get the genuineness out of you, because there's so many things that are important to me. As a black male, you can't just pick one thing, for me personally. So it's now I just have to outweigh which one, matters more. So healthcare is big for me.
What's the most important thing to you?
Right now, healthcare.
Is that more important than somebody who can beat Trump?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you would vote for somebody who would give you health care even though they would lose?
Well,
Even though you think they would lose?
Oh, so you're saying I get what you're saying. I mean, for me, yeah, because I know it's bad to say this, but I'm one person, so I'm gonna at least vote for who I think is gonna be best for the country, or what I'm gonna benefit from the most.
Right. You're not gonna make a decision on who do you think is gonna be Trump.
No, I don't think that's voting smart, because if you do that and you're voting for somebody but then I also understand the lesser of two evils, which was so it's real difficult. But I'm still gonna stay true to what I believe in. I'm not gonna go for somebody just because. So.
I feel like in a 4-year period, you can want to tackle a task, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you get to complete the task. So I'm for the person that's for the people that can't really speak for themselves. Here I go being a cliche, but Obama was one of my favorite presidents because I just feel like he was authentic, number one. You can tell that he cared for the issues that he cared for truly and authentically. But that's just my opinion.
Obama was a good speaker.
Right.
So because he was a good speaker, he convinced you that he cared about what you cared about, and maybe he did.
Sure.
Okay.
They're all going to speak.
I'm not saying.
It's all going to be words.
I mean, you don't know what's in his mind,
Right.
Because he was to me, he was a very good speaker, and he deported more immigrants than any other president, including George W. Bush. So here I am as an immigration advocate voting for President Obama, and trust me, he did a lot.
Right.
Okay? But to me, for immigration, all words.
Yeah.
All words.
And that's what it is with
a lot of it is words.
Right, but he wasn't building walls.
No, he didn't build walls.
So then one of my points
he didn't build walls.
Being more in more connected because of this that we do, this work, this platform that we do. And me as an immigrant myself, and knowing that my immigration story isn't as complex as plenty of our viewers, I feel really strongly about immigration right now. And I think, we're built on immigrants. Everything else will come after people can or come to this country and make us everything else, work in healthcare department, work in everything else that would be a concern for us. Immigration is actually, it's on the top of my list now.
So who do you vote for then?
I don't know who I'm voting for yet.
Yeah, I still need. I guess at the end of the day, we said it. It's all words.
Yeah.
Who's gonna convince me or play the card the best? I'm
getting too much of the petty stuff. Like, oh, he did this, and I want to start like really understanding like what you want to do, because I'm hearing like, them call out different NDAs that Bloomberg had signed. It's like, so now it's like the catty stuff. They're all like saying you shouldn't vote for this person. You shouldn't. So I want to actually start to get like what they want to do, and I need to feel it. I haven't felt it from anybody yet.
You know what? People vote based on a feeling.
Yeah.
Nobody really sits down, when somebody goes, well, my plan does this and my plan does. Nobody understands what the hell the plan is anyway, quite frankly. Number two, whatever their plan is doesn't really matter, because it's not going to be able to do it because they got to go through Congress.
Exactly.
So their plan, Bernie Sanders could be Medicaid for all. It's never happening.
Yeah.
That's cute.
It's cute. It's never happening. Okay,
Yeah.
Mike Bloomberg came out with a immigration plan. I thought it was pretty smart. It's not going to happen though.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, but a lot of people don't like Bloomberg. I know Yo-Yo doesn't like Bloomberg because of stop and frisk. It's a big problem.
We don't forget.
Yeah.
Now a lot of people don't like Elizabeth Warren either. A lot of people don't like Biden because he has absolutely nothing to say.
Right.
I think this will be the hardest.
To me, Biden stands for nothing other than we know that he is a reasonable human being. Beyond being a reasonable human being, I haven't heard anything that Biden has said to make me want to vote for him, other than I know he's not a crazy man like the man in. You're basically voting for Biden to say, I'm voting for a non-crazy person.
Yeah, well, that's why I would start.
All right, Bloomberg, you say, okay, I'm voting for a manager, somebody who knows how to manage, somebody who's self-made, who really knows how to manage an organization, but he has some other baggage that went along with it.
Right.
Okay? For Bernie Sanders, you say, wow, you know what? It should be really fair. That everybody should be treated equally. Everybody should have the same exact health care. It shouldn't matter that you're rich or you're poor. Everybody should have the same access to the same doctor. But that ain't going to happen.
Right.
And Elizabeth Warren, who wants to tax everybody under the sun, and have programs that will cost $40 or $50 billion without having any idea how to pay for this. It's just wild stuff that she's saying that's not a believable thing. Yeah. So it really comes down to, I don't know who to vote for.
Right.
Because
that's what I'm saying.
I was just going to say right now, at this point in time, I don't know who I would vote for.
This is what I think. I vote for anybody who I think will ultimately be able to beat Trump. Because of all of those four are better than what we got now.
Oh. Absolutely.
Because what I can't handle is 4 more years of this guy.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.